Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. I do welcome you guys to the part 2 of the stomach. We have discussed part 1. In part 1 the overview of the stomach. If you haven't checked out that video, do check that out because we have got some basic information about the stomach, very basic and important information about stomach in that video. So do check that out, that part 1. And this is a series of the stomach in which we will be discussing all the concepts of stomach. Now here today we are having the part 2 of the stomach, and today is the most important. This is according to me the most important part because we have been discussing the layers of stomach in this video. uh, Now this is the anatomical series. In the physiological series we will be discussing the functions as well, so you don't need to take tension. And if you are just afraid to see this, what we say, the flow chart, so don't be afraid. This is quite simple. We're discussing it. So first of all, we have got layers of stomach. Layers means what we say, boundaries, how many boundaries or linings the stomach has got. So we have got four different boundaries of stomach. The mucosa is one of the lining of stomach. Mucosa is the innermost. Then on the second number we have got the submucosa. Then we have got muscularis externa. Muscularis externa, you need to remember this. uh, if you will revise it, you will get them easily. That we have got serosa. Like we have got four layers, and I would like to mention here, we are moving this direction. We are moving in this direction. This is outward. This is in, right? So in we have got mucosa, right? Here we have got innermost is mucosa, then submucosa, then muscularis externa, then serosa, and serosa outermost. Now the mucosa is one of the most important layer, and it is subdivided into four more cells. Even though we have got other things as well, we will discussing all that. Like we have got some other precursor cells and all that. So serosa layer, don't panic. Like the other layers are not that much complex. The mucosa layers is the only one which is kind of complex, and the mucosa layer is the one which is having four different cells. Number one is a mucus cell. This is quite simple, like mucosa layer, mucus cells. Then we've got auxentic cells. Auxentic cells are also called parietal cells. Then we've got uh, zymogen cells. We'll be discussing each of them in detail. Uh, they've got very important functions. Then we've got argentophin cells, right? So let's get into it. First of all, let me, in today's video, what is the scenario is like, we'll be getting into the mucosa layer, the very first layer, taking its introduction, then moving into towards the cell, and hopefully uh, we will be covering in this video mucus cells and the auxentic cells, and the later on in the next video we'll be covering the remaining two and the summary of the mucosa. Hopefully, let's see how much time it consumes. Now first of all, let me discuss about mucosa, right? Mucosa. So mucosa is a layer. Mucosa is the innermost layer of the stomach, and it is tongue. Remember that we told in my previous videos as well that I am not writing everything. You just need to listen up. I'm telling very important points. Because of the tall, elongated, columnar epithelial cells there. First of all, let me get a diagram over here to make you guys more clear. Now here we have got okay, so this one is good. Maybe let's see. Yes, this is kind of good. Now here this is a wonderful picture that will clear concepts. You're gonna see that here this is we are having a stomach, and as we get into it, we'll be finding that this is a section, like this is a complete section. This is a section of the layer. I know that it's kind of complex, but this is easy as well. Just you need to get your focus. Now you're gonna see that the mucosa is the innermost. Mucosa is the innermost. This is the innermost, like it is covering this much section, and even this is large as well. Like it has got this sort of variety, this sort of variety, another cell. So of course this would be large. So mucosa is kind of large. Then we got submucosa. This is this section. Then we got muscularis propria or muscularis externa. Then we have got serosa. Sub-zero is kind of a minor layer. We may be not discussing that, but you're gonna need to know that between muscularis externa and serosa we have got submucosa. Uh, like from this diagram, I do hope that this is kind of super clear to you guys. Now let's move forward. It is tall, elongated. Like you're gonna see that it is tall, elongated, even compared to other ones as well. It has got glandular cells, secreting cells. All these cells I just mentioned above have got, almost all of them has got their secretions, and I do want to say that these are having very very important roles. Uh, let's move. These are kind of thick layer. Mucosa layer is kind of thick layer, and it has got a lot of enzymes, like uh, there is secretion of a lot of enzymes and protein breakdown enzymes. We'll be discussing them hopefully. Now let's get into it. First of all, in today's video we'll be discussing mucosa. First of all, I will discuss mucus cells. This is very easy. Mucus cells, right? So mucus cells, of course it secretes mucus. Now I do hope that you are known about mucus. Mucus is a thin fluid, or sorry, this a thick fluid that does the protection work. I do hope that you are known about this. Is a very basic term. Uh, Mucus is secreted, and it softens food, and lubrication takes place during the digestion. It covers stomach walls. Now this is very important point that you need to know. These are walls of stomach, right? These are walls of stomach. In the stomach we have got acidic environment. You need to know that. So acidic environment, how stomach is bearing that the acidic environment, like how why stomach wall is not being destroyed. That is because of the secretion of the mucus, because mucus is lined up or covering the walls of the stomach, and that is protecting it from the HCl. And HCl secretes mucus, and also bicarbonate ions. uh, the mucosa layer is also the mucosa cells or mucus cells of the mucus cells of the mucus layer is secreting mucus, that is uh, protecting from HCl. And number one, HCl, it is protecting from the HCl or the acidic environment of the stomach. We'll discussing why and how this HCl come from. Don't panic, just need to know that there is acidic environment in stomach. Number second, what it does, it secretes bicarbonate ions. Bicarbonate ions. Bicarbonate ions. Now you know that bicarbonate ions are basic in nature, and when they get released, they neutralize. They do neutralization reaction. Like when bicarbonate ions acted upon the acids, so the condition became neutral or the basic. The condition turns over to basic. Like if you have 2 pH, then when you add bicarbonate ion, it would turn over to 6. It depends on the quantity of the bicarbonate ion. I just want to give you concept, like bicarbonate ions are acting opposite to the acids, you can say that. So these are also being secreted. Like you can say that the mucus cells of the mucosa layer, mucus cells are kind of doing the protection function from the acidic environment. And the video is quite long, and I just thought that I may tell you about the augmentic cell, but I'm unable. So hopefully don't panic, this will be all getting clear. I do hope that you've got it. Just write it up. Like mucosa, we have got 4 different layers: mucosa, submucosa, muscular section, and serosa. And the mucosa is further divided into mucous cells, augmentic cells or parietal cells, zymogen cells, and argentophin cells. Now the mucous cells, the mucosa. We are discussing the part one for the number one cell of the mucosa, that is the mucous cells. And the mucous cells are doing secretion of the mucus, and mucus is a thick fluid that does the protection of the stomach from the HCl or the acidic environment. And mucus cells are also releasing bicarbonate ions that are also acting opposite to the acidic nature of the stomach. So I do hope that you got it. Hopefully you will be covering everything. Meet you guys in the next video. Till that, goodbye.